Hello everyone, I am Shushmita from Chemical Department. My register number is 212218203031. So, my oral presentation topic is Ancient Engineering. So, the agenda of the presentation is knowing about the history of engineering, when it has started, ancient engineering marvels of Tamil Nadu, ancient engineering techniques, mechanical and civil engineering, textile and material science engineering, and chemical engineering. When you look into the history of engineering, we can proudly say that the concept of engineering has existed since ancient times. First they discovered pulley, lever, and wheel. Imagine an industry without these three. Each of these inventions is consistent with a modern definition of engineering, exploiting basic mechanical principles to develop useful tools and objects. The term engineering itself has a much more recent etymology, deriving from the word engineer, which itself dates back to 1325 when an engineer originally referred to a constructor of military engines. In this context, now obsolete, an engine referred to a military machine, that is, a mechanical contraption used in war. A word engine itself is even of older origin, ultimately deriving from the Latin ingenium, meaning innate quality, especially mental power, hence a clever invention. So, when it has started, the first steam engine was built in 1698 by mechanical engineer Thomas Savery. The development of this device gave rise to the Industrial Revolution in the coming decades, allowing for the beginnings of mass production. With the rise of engineering as a profession in the 18th century, the term became more narrowly applied to fields in which mathematics and science were applied to these ends. Similarly, in addition to military and civil engineering, the field then known as the mechanic arts became incorporated into engineering. Did you know evidence indicates wheels were created to serve as potter wheels around 3500 BC? In Mesopotamia, 300 years before, someone figured out to use them for chariots. The ancient Greeks invented Western philosophy and the wheelbarrow. Wheels with spokes, first made around 2000 BC, were lighter, enabling vehicles to move faster. Wheels were initially useful on carts and chariots pulled by the oxen or horses. But humans discovered that a wheel powered by people, animals, wind, or flowing water can be put to many other uses. I would say from here the evolution has begun. Imagine a life without cars and bikes. Sounds crazy, right? I have enclosed some pictures of wheels here. You can see the evolution of wheels. Now we look into the ancient engineering marvels of Tamil Nadu. One such engineering marvel is the Grand Anicut or Kallanai Dam, built more than 2000 years ago by the Chola king Karigalan across the Kaveri river. About 15 kilometers from Tiruchirappalli in Tanjavur district of Tamil Nadu still stands the ancient structures of Kallanai Dam. When you see Brahadishwara temple every time from a distance, you will wonder how something this majestic was pulled off in those olden, non-technology, non-Google days. Just 1000 years old, built by Rajaraja Chola I, this temple has used 1,30,000 tons of granite and is 216 feet high. Now that's the major feat in itself. The entrance reminded me so much of Angkor Wat, and only later did we come to realize that the Chola played a huge role in conquering Cambodia and thereby influence. Everything in this temple is born to give you goosebumps. Not only these marvels, they had given us the mini marvels too, which save our time in kitchen, and also using these things make our food extremely healthy. Yes, I'm talking about the kitchen tools. I would say the tools now we are using in our kitchen are inspired from the tools that our ancestors used. In the next slides, I have given the comparison of our ancient and modern tools. After looking on to the next slide, you will know the Tamilians' contribution towards the modern concept of engineering. When you look at the first picture, it was used to make idiyappam, which is a traditional breakfast, eaten by all people in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This was the tool that Tamilians used to make idiyappam. Look at the evolution here. This has turned into this. Idiyappam can be made with low pressure, and a perfect size idiyappam can be made with the help of this tool. When you look at the second comparison picture, this was used by our ancestors to grind grains, pulses, etc. And now we are using all-in-one mixer jar to knead, to make juices, to make paste, to grind pulses, cereals, etc. When you look at the comparison of third picture, so this was the tool used by our ancestors to cut vegetables. And now we are using knife. So talking on mechanical and civil engineering, the groma is the instrument used for setting out right angles for many thousand years. The Romans in their construction works, in particular roads, which were always set out in a straight line, for which the groma was ideally suited. There is a carving on a tomb near Turin dating from the 1st century AD which depicts such an instrument. The name of the tomb is that of Lucius Aebutius Faustus, was said to be an agrimeter, an early term for land surveyor. So when you look at the comparison pictures, so this is the groma that were used in ancient times to build or setting out the right angles, but here we use protectors and compass to set out right angles and all geometrical stuffs. So when we talk on textile material science and engineering, Tabu originates in Rajasthan, and it is a beautiful mud resist hand block printing technique. It survived the test of time with some difficulty, and it's a time consuming printing technique involving many phases and a great amount of labor. So I've given so much of pictures over here, colorful pictures. So when you look at the first picture, this was the tool used by our ancestors in order to stitch clothes, and then it was taken over by this tool. This is, you would have seen it. This tool is a sewing machine which sews clothes in very short time, but you need to give your leg movement in order to stitch the cloth. And now we are using this type of sewing machine which doesn't need any foot movement or foot pressure, which runs automatically by electrical power. The second comparison is weaving of cloths. When you look at the first picture, you would have seen it already, like Gandhiji were using this stuff to make threads, and the evolution has taken like this. The second picture is also old, but this, comparing to the first picture, this saves time. And when you look at the third picture, nowadays we are using this type of technique to make colorful clothes. Now moving on to the next slide, that is chemical engineering. Chemical engineering is a discipline that was developed out of those practicing industrial chemistry in the late 19th century. I have enclosed the first chemical lab picture over here, which was originated in 1893. Before the Industrial Revolution, industrial chemicals and other consumer products such as soap were mainly produced through Batch processing. Batch processing is labor intensive and individual makes predetermined amounts of ingredients in a vessel, heat, cool or pressurize the mixture for a predetermined length of time. The product may then be isolated, purified and tested to achieve a sealable product. Batch processes are still performed today on a higher value products such as pharmaceutical intermediates, specialty and formulated products such as perfumes and paints, or in food manufacturers such as pure maple syrups, where a profit can still be made despite batch methods being slower and inefficient in terms of labor and equipment usage. Due to the application of chemical engineering techniques during manufacturing process development, larger volume chemicals are now produced through a continuous assembly line chemical processes. The Industrial Revolution was when a shift from batch to more continuous processing began to occur. Today, commodity chemicals and petrochemicals are predominantly made using continuous manufacturing processes, whereas specialty chemicals, fine chemicals, and pharmaceuticals are made using batch processes. You look at the comparison pictures over here. The first picture shows the batch process that were used in ancient times, and the second picture shows the batch process used nowadays. And the second comparison shows the fermentation techniques that were used in ancient times and now. This is the perfect example of chemical engineering which has started 1000 years back. Natural fermentation precedes human history. Since ancient times, humans have exploited the fermentation process. The earliest archaeological evidence of fermentation is 13,000-year-old residues of a beer, which a consistency of gruel found in a cave near Haifa in Israel. Perhaps the easiest and earliest method of food preservation is drying. It is used heavily during the ancient times until today. Drying makes sense because the water in food becomes a breeding ground for microorganisms. Therefore, once the water has dried out, microorganisms may not be able to spoil the food further. The sun and the wind would have dried foods naturally. As early as 12,000 BC, ancient Egypt, countries in the Middle East and other cultures in the Far East were already dehydrating nuts, fish, fruits and meat under the sun. The Romans were fond of drying fruit in dehydrator. I have given the comparison picture of drying techniques that were used in ancient times and now. Instead of saying drying technique, or fermentation techniques that were used in ancient times and now. Nowadays we are storing foods in can, which is called as canning. So when you look on to the next slide, we can say that the concept of alloying were used without knowing the concept of material science. They had mixed two different metals to produce ornaments, decor pieces, etc. How come they all know the concept of science? Imagine without this alloying concept, there is no lightweight cars, water resistant watches, water resistant steels, stainless steel, etc. The concept of alloying plays a major role in engineering as it helps us to build reactors, storage unit, etc. I have included a picture over here which represents a solid gold Minon pendant depicting two bees clutching a honeycomb. When I look at these coins, they were made with fusion of two metals. If you keenly look at the coins, it has some textures or carvings which were made by molds. They had brought up the concept of molding. So, ancient peoples were not only expert in engineering, they were also expert in medical field. For example, Shushruta, he made the first organ transplant surgery. When you look into the medical field, our ancestors were not only expert in engineering, they were also expert in medical field. For example, Shushruta, he made the first organ transplant surgery 2000 years back. When you look at the current scenario, a transplant surgery is under a risk factor. There is only 50-50 percentage of success. But how you would have done the surgery without any modern tools? Sounds crazy, right? So, ancient medicines versus modern medicines. Do you know any medical conditions can be cured in Ayurveda? But our latest medicine struggle to solve these conditions. Those Ayurvedic scriptures were handwritten by various Ayurvedic doctors who keenly examined each and every problem existed in human. Even for coronavirus, we were advised to drink Kabasura Kudineer in order to improve our immunity, while latest medicines failed in this regard. So now we are going to talk on mummies. Yes, preparing for the afterlife. Preparing for the afterlife. The central tenet of ancient Egyptian mummification was preservation of a perfect body so that it could enter into the afterlife as a complete entity. A mummy is a dead human or an animal whose soft tissues and organs have been preserved by either intentional or accidental exposure to chemicals, extreme cold, very low humidity, or lack of air, so that the recovered body does not decay further if kept in cool and dry conditions. So we have come to the end of the slide. Thank you for watching. Bye.